Now on CoastTV News.
Tents in the woods in Lewes. One man is one step closer to bringing them out.
Empty land, but lots of opinions. The latest plans for Cool Spring Crossing still being talked about.
New history to explore in Ocean City. We take you to a brand new museum.
We're in store for a brighter and warmer day, or days. Your forecast details are going to be quite a treat.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Tharros Village in Lewes, a way to bring the homeless out of the woods, is on its way to becoming a reality again. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with the encampment once again in front of Planning and Zoning.
A tent near the woods off of the former Troop 7 site off of Route 1, and Mike Agnew is working to bring all of the tents into a cleaner environment. Coast TV News reporter Zakia Jennings is live there in Lewes. Zakia, Agnew says today's comments were a win.
Maddie, I spoke with Agnew earlier, and he says he believes there are about 35 to 40 people in these woods back here. Now, you might not be able to see right now, but if you come on with me over this way, if you take a real good look right back here, you might see something orange in there. That is a tent. There are many, many tents in these woods. If you look over this way, you're going to see some shopping carts. And when we come over this way, you see pieces of wood put together. And on that wood, it says, "Jesus, follow him. Amen. Jesus loves all." Now, Agnew is hopeful that he can move these people that are currently in the woods. We even have 2 people watching us right now. He's hoping he can move them into a controlled environment. The Planning and Zoning Commission will be moving their recommendations forward to the Sussex County Council. These tents were placed at the old Troop 7 police lot in Lewes in 2024. On Wednesday, the Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission approved recommendations for Tharros, a homeless village.
I feel pretty good. I also believe that there's a real need.
But there is another hurdle to clear. It now has to go in front of the Sussex County Council. Mike Agnew has been working to bring Tharros Village back and has been in the process of acquiring a conditional land use permit.
We need to have successful models like Tharros that's self-governed, low cost, and minimal investment, minimal capital investment.
In the meeting, the Planning and Zoning Commission said there is no compelling evidence Tharros will have a negative effect on roadways or those living nearby. But Jerry DeFazio, who can see the tents from his home, wants safety measures in place if Tharros moves forward.
They have to put running water and stuff over there for them. They have to put at least an 8-foot fence. They should be responsible for that, not the apartment complex.
If the project is ultimately approved, Agnew says it will bring people in need out of the woods into a cleaner environment and even give them access to case management. Agnew says the one change that needs to be made is that Tharros, where I'm standing right now, needs to be 400 feet away from the nearest dwelling. Now, if you look through this gate here, you're going to see an apartment that is only 300 feet away from Savannah West. Agnew says he plans to file an application with the Board of Adjustment to kind of work through that and resolve that issue. The County Council will vote on Tharros on whether or not it'll move forward on June 17th. Live in Lewes, Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
In related news, a new bill in Delaware seeks to help those facing homelessness. According to the General Assembly, the state does not have adequate shelters or housing services for the amount of people that need help. House Bill 135 aims to encourage communities to provide emergency shelter for these people. Another part of the bill would ensure that they get the same legal protections as everybody else.
Happening now, a 4.5-hour-long public hearing on one of the largest development proposals in years, Cool Spring Crossing. It is actually still in front of County Planning and Zoning, and that started at 12. The developer is applying for several zoning changes on 637 acres off of Route 9 and Cool Spring Road for plans including 1,900 housing units in 7 villages and different types of housing, not just single-family homes. There are also plans for a grocery store, a bank, a convenience store, gas station, restaurants, hotel, art, and even a YMCA. There are a few proposals for the property, but the large plan as a whole is dependent on developers' request to change the land use map That is still being debated, and we will stay with you with this at 6 p.m.
Now this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's your biggest takeaway on the Cool Spring Crossing project?
I was actually just voting before the broadcast, and it was changing. 62%, it's gone up now, says more traffic. The new assisted living is 20%. Educational facility is 10%. Affordable housing and less farmland, 4% there.
If you haven't voted yet, it's easy to do. Go to coasttv.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. Remember, you can leave us a comment as well.
To Georgetown now, state police have arrested a woman after they say she drove towards a correctional officer. Police say 26-year-old Inessa Bagwell drove towards the officer who was supervising a department work crew on May 2nd. Before that happened, they say she was talking to inmates, and after being told to leave, police say the woman came back and nearly hit the officer before driving away.
We're taking a live look into Rehoboth Beach right now. It looks absolutely gorgeous out there. I'm almost surprised there aren't more people on the boardwalk at the moment. Let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams. Paul, tell us about the weather today.
Well, you know, there can't be more people on there because I'd like to go. All right, but anyway, take a look at Laurel right now. We're 74 degrees at this present time. We're looking at it to stay at about 69 by 8 o'clock, 66 degrees by the 9 o'clock hour, staying very clear. Now, this morning we started off just pretty normal for this time of year. About 53, the starting point in Georgetown, 50, the starting point for us in Ocean City as well as Salisbury, and 55, our morning low in Cambridge. Here's where we stand right now, well into the 70s as far as the inland areas are concerned, still in the 60s along the beaches. It's 75 degrees in Red, 74 in Georgetown, as well as Seaford, Laurel, and Delmar, and we're 74 degrees right now. Gumboro. Cloud cover staying relatively limited, but scattered pattern at best. We widen the scope here, and we're not under any advisories dealing with wind or rain or anything of that sort, so that's a good thing, and our air quality is looking pretty decent for us at this point as well. Now, as we widen the scope just a little bit more, you'll notice that we're staying relatively clear for now. Will that clear pattern continue for tomorrow's sunshine? We'll talk about that in great detail coming up in a moment. Till then, back to you, Maddie.
Paul, thank you. To Vatican City, black smoke poured from the Sistine Chapel chimney, indicating the conclave did not elect a new pope. With no one securing the necessary two-thirds majority, the cardinals retire for the night. They'll return to the Sistine Chapel Thursday morning.
Days before the U.S. begins trade talks with China, the Trump administration feeling the pressure to make moves as the Fed says the economic uncertainty is rising. NBC's Vaughn Hilliard shows us how the economy is signaling both strengths and weaknesses.
For a long time, we're swearing in.
President Trump swearing in the new ambassador to China.
What timing, David? What timing?
Days before his Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, meets with his Chinese counterparts to talk trade and tariffs.
America first does not mean America alone.
The talks a starting point amid the president's escalating trade war with the economic superpower. The secretary already downplaying expectations in a Senate hearing.
We will begin, which I believe is the opposite of advance.
And trying to sell President Trump's trade strategy to lawmakers.
Tariffs create an incentive for reshoring jobs and fair trade.
But at what cost? The president's 145% tax on all Chinese goods and China's 125% tariff on all U.S. imports, pushing up prices for Americans already concerned about their household budgets. And U.S. ports seeing a downturn in container vessels. That could lead to fewer jobs on the docks and in warehouses.
We've seen individual importers pay as much as $30 or $40 million in additional duty this first month. So how long can they do that?
The economy, though, signaling both strengths and weaknesses, leaving the Federal Reserve in a wait-and-see mode. Today, not changing interest rates, despite President Trump's insistence that interest rates need to come down. Today, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said that economic uncertainty is growing. While the job market is still strong, Powell indicating that the risk of inflation increasing is higher amid Trump's tariff war. In Washington, Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News.
Another federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's use of deportation under the Alien Enemies Act. A district judge ruled the administration is indefinitely blocked from removing migrants from the Southern District of New York under that act. The judge went on to say the use of the Alien Enemies Act violates constitutional protections, giving people in the U.S. right to due process. Currently, the Supreme Court has not weighed in on whether that law is being used legally.
Playground progress, new equipment locals can soon enjoy at the Salisbury Park.
Here's a look at your evening planner. We are expecting for the winds to become calm for the rest of the night as we fall gently into the upper 50s.
But first, history to explore in the new Museum of Ocean City. We'll take you inside up next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
What was once a bank in Ocean City is now a place people can walk in and go back in time. Nearly 1.5 years of construction, the new Museum of Ocean City is now open to the public.
Let's take you inside. Here's the first level. The left side features the history of downtown OC and stories of people from the past.
The right side is dedicated to restaurants and hotels that have played a key role in Ocean City. And in their center, there is a safe that was kept here from when it was once a bank.
That is pretty cool. And get this, one visitor that we spoke with today, she could not believe what she found.
It was the very hotel her grandfather helped renovate during the 70s.
My family found this store pretty exciting. This is the Mayflower Hotel. There's a postcard of it, of a picture, and dining room place setting that we remember eating on.
That's pretty awesome there. And if you want to go upstairs, there's a research library. Make an appointment, and once you do, you can see hundreds of archives from Ocean City's past.
Your Bay forecast for Thursday, 78 degrees, but we'll drop to 70 on Friday because that's when we're expecting the rain to roll through. We're going to talk about the timing of that rain coming up. We are expecting a chance of rain for Friday, but that window of opportunity is becoming a little more condensed, but still not much in the way of the amount of rain that we're expecting, but it could get a little rocky. I'm going to show you why we're kind of going back and forth with that in just a moment and how you need to plan your weekend. Our Bay Health camera in Milford, 74 degrees with the temperatures expected to settle into the upper to mid 60s by the 9 o'clock hour with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And as you can see live, we are seeing a decent amount of cloud cover that's in play right now. Temperature of 63 degrees in Rehoboth, but nearly 10 degrees warmer than that. For example, in Milton, exactly 10 degrees warmer than that. In Bridgeville, it's 73 degrees there. Milford as well as Laurel at this time. The winds kind of swirling a bit. We have the winds coming out of the northwest for us in Delmar, but coming off the water at the Indian River Inlet. This is a true example of a microclimate situation with this little bitty coming together or convergence that's happening right near Selbyville. Now, that being said, we're still looking at scattered cloud cover, the pattern that we're seeing right now. We're not seeing any threat of precipitation, and we have no complex system that's really close to us. We really are in a space of emptiness right now. So we're kind of lying in wait for the next storm system or system period to just come knocking on our door. But in the meantime, partly cloudy skies, 57 degrees for the overnight low in Lewes, Long Neck, Rehoboth, but also we're expecting 57 degrees in places like Greenwood as well as Redden. Tomorrow, more sunshine. We'll warm to 80 degrees in Seaford as well as Laurel, 78 degrees in Georgetown. We'll get up to 78 degrees actually in Cambridge, and we anticipate a high of 72 degrees for us in Ocean City, but 77 for the high, Snow Hill. Now let's talk about that rain. You see, early in the morning, and that's the key here. Salisbury and Princess Anne, early morning thunderstorms could actually be a bit volatile, but then it falls apart very quickly according to our model. By 6 o'clock, we'll see scattered showers pulling out of the way and out of the way by the morning hours, and then another wave probably south of Pocomoke City in the afternoon. Here's another look at that and push. Delmar, 62, Salisbury, 62. This is 5 o'clock in the morning. Then that pushes across quickly. By 7 o'clock, we're looking for the backside of this to be pushing away from Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, Fenwick Island. Then it clears out of the way. We'll have another wave possibly pulling through, but this wave in the afternoon is looking more like a passing sprinkle than anything else. But our chances of rain have escalated to a 60% chance of rain on Friday. And then you take a look at the amount of rain. We're still looking for only 1/4 of an inch, so it's been downgraded more so as we run more and more models. For 5 o'clock for Friday, we go into Friday, we look at widespread scattered showers, but it pushes out of the way quickly and sweeps on out of the way. So Friday in Chincoteague, that's when we're looking for those scattered showers. Assateague, same thing, 66. Ocean City, 66 and scattered showers for Friday, but I'm thinking primarily Friday morning for Lewes as well as Rehoboth Beach and all of the coast. So tonight, 55 with limited cloud cover. Tomorrow staying bright and mild and 78 degrees. Now it's on Friday where clouds will build In the early morning hours, we're looking for showers possible in our neck of the woods. And finally, here's a look at the extended forecast. We anticipate it's going to continue to stay very nice. Back to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Paul. The airline Breeze Airways is bringing its services to Salisbury. The company has announced new nonstop flights to Orlando. Those are going to start October 1st. Flights will run twice weekly. They'll be Mondays and Fridays.
New upgrades are heading to Doverdale Park in Salisbury. The city says new equipment is currently being installed, and you can actually see some of the work here on your screen. The project should be done in just 2 weeks.
In Maryland, be on alert if you receive any messages that claim you owe money for unpaid tolls. For the past couple months, the Transportation Authority has reported phishing scams going around. They're tricking people into paying a fake toll debt. Officials say that the state will never ask for payments through text. If you do receive one, the Transportation Authority says to report the text to the FBI.
Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 7, Indian River is hosting Del Mar at Boys Lacrosse. Then at 10:30, the final score.
We salute Millie Powers. Millie Powers proudly served in the Army Nurse Corps from January 1943 to July 1946, providing critical care to wounded soldiers during World War II. Her service took her across multiple countries, where her compassion and skill helped countless heroes in their time of need. Millie is a true inspiration and a shining example of courage, dedication, and selfless service. We honor her as both a healer and a hero.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
CNN has learned the Department of Education will stop providing $1 billion for school mental health programs. The budget cuts will impact thousands of workers, counselors, psychologists, and students receiving mental health help in school. The department says it's ending many of the grants because it believes they are not advancing the administration's priorities. A spokesperson said some of the grant money was being spent on items other than mental health.
A famous health program is filing for bankruptcy. Weight Watchers announcing that it is more than $1 billion in debt. The Weight Watchers isn't going under, though, so pay attention here. The 60-year-old company says it expects to emerge from bankruptcy within the next 4 to 5 days, or 45 days rather, and plans to transition into a telehealth services provider.
TikTok has told advertisers it's, quote, absolutely confident in its platform and its future. Advertisers, they've got a lot to worry about with the platform legally required to find a buyer. But the company's confidence may be rooted in more than just PR, because President Trump told Meet the Press he has a warm spot in his heart for TikTok. Trump said he would extend the deadline for TikTok to find a buyer if he has to.
And listen to this. Another U.S. Navy fighter jet has been lost in the Red Sea. This is the second jet lost from the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier in just over a week. It's not yet clear what happened, but there was reportedly some kind of failure as the jet was trying to land on the carrier. 2 people, including the pilot, had to eject. Both were rescued with minor injuries. The jet has not yet been recovered.
Let's take a live look outside into Cambridge. One more check on your forecast after this. Children across Delaware will have the chance to compete for trophies and learn about conservation during the 39th annual Youth Fishing Tournament. Hosted by Delaware Natural Resources Police, the event is open to children 4 to 15 at public ponds in each county. Now, registration is required for that June 7th event. To learn more about it, we have all the details for you right now on coasttv.com.
That website is becoming handier and handier as we go along there, Maddie. Okay, so our Cambridge camera, 72 degrees right now. We'll drop down to 68 with partly cloudy skies by 6 o'clock. Our umbrella winner, Annette Koneman of Denton. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. You can keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a phone call away. Sponsored by the law office of Brockstedt, Mendalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. 78, then we drop down to 70 with a chance of scattered showers on Friday. And Mother's Day is looking pretty clear with a high of 80 degrees.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.